Hello card suckers, it's me, Thanos the Cardman, and I'm back with another video. And today I will talk to you about the beast that is Maliss. You might have seen some videos of DK showing a noob list, but this is the mega list. I have noted here everything about the power of an archetype, and we're going to discuss each element. But first, let's jump to Master Duel and say hi to Cartesia. Hello, my beloved. Lick Cartesia's feet for good luck. And now that we are boosted, we can continue. So, you might think Maliss is strong, but you don't really know how strong Maliss is until you watch this video. So let's begin by the going first. Arguably the most important element in a deck. So up in here we have the archetype power, and I have evaluated each element from a scale of 0 to 10. So going first, I have split it up these 4 elements: hand trap resilience, end board power, board break resilience, and follow up. And for going second, I have the counterparts of these 4 elements. So instead of hand trap resilience, now we have hand trap power, meaning how much hand trap you have going a second, right? And going first, how much you can survive hand traps. And again, the rest are similar. End board power, interruption resilience from the end board. Breakboard resilience, now we want board breaking power. And follow up, you want to survive, but OTK is to die. So let's begin with going first. Hand trap resilience, probably the most important thing going first. There are all these hand traps, and I have actually rated them and put them in order of usage and significance as seen by the Master Duel Meta website. So these are the most prevalent hand traps. Of course we have Max C, every deck loses to Max C, but Maliss can either set up a lot of interruptions without performing special summons, just by having hand traps, or they might perform some special summons, 1 or 2 from the extra deck, to have an additional or 2 additional interruptions through Maliss in the mirror. Here we can see a very common deck of Maliss, the high power Maliss, in the current ban list, where we have limits on Chessicat, Dormouse, and Maliss in the underground. So Maliss in the mirror can help be an extra interruption against Max C, and can be set up with, let's say, taken with Red Ransom. Add 1 Maliss spell. So it is decent against Max C, but that's not really the hand trap resilience. Every other hand trap you see here does jack shit against Maliss. So let's take for example Ash, the second most prevalent hand trap. Well, what does Ash achieve? It can stop Chessicat, the draw 2, but they don't really care about that. It cannot stop Dormouse. It cannot stop White Rabbit. One banishes, the other sets. It cannot stop the Red Ransom because it is chain blocked. Yes, this adds a Maliss spell, but as you know, this can be chain blocked by a banish of Maliss card or by the link decoder, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the link decoder. Your Ash can hit the white binder, but again, that's just a draw 1. It doesn't really matter, and it's a special summon. It's not that big of a deal. Before, when Maliss was having Appaloosa, it was even worse. Droll, Maliss doesn't care. Like we said, it does not add a lot. So not only can it play around Droll, but it can abuse Droll for its own purpose. Fugalos, of course that's a bad card against Maliss, but they can survive. They can again set up interruptions similar to the Max C problem. And now let's go to target interruption, impermanence, or Veiler, or other target interruption. They don't care. They have so much extension, and they can even dodge your target protection with the 2 traps by banishing your Maliss. They can bluff if they want. They just set up an Allure of Darkness, and now you have to think twice about using your Veiler or your impermanence. Nibiru. Before with Appaloosa, Nibiru useless. Now it does something, but again they can continue extending. They have a ton of extension. This is an extension and starter. This is an extension. Bestials are extension. This guy is an extension. This and that and everything is pretty much starters and extensions. So now we go into some hand traps that are played just to hit Maliss. Of course we have Lancia, of course we have Meowls and Chaos Hunter. Yes, these do beat Maliss. Maliss can stop it with Call by the Grave and Crossout Designator if they play such hand traps themselves. Normally right now they don't, so it's just called by. But people are not really playing Lancia and Meows and Chaos Hunter because there are a lot of other decks, namely Ryzeal, and you don't really want to stuff your deck with useless cards against other archetypes. Purulia. Now Purulia is kind of interesting. Marcher and Bestials do help you, and of course the normal summon, and of course backup. I would argue that maybe even Purulia does more than Fualos in certain cases, because that will restrict them more maybe from extending. This also draws you under Purulia, so Purulia is also a good hand trap against them. So instead of playing Lancia or Meowls or Chaos Hunter, maybe you should play 3 Fualos and 3 Purulia. Purulia is also good against Ryzeal, highly recommended. Bell is a decent hand trap, but whatever. Shifter, it helps Maliss. Thank you for shiftering me. Doesn't do jack shit. Ogre, nope. Sideframe, nope. You know all these cards don't really do much. They have a lot of extension to just keep playing. These are just one stop, and it's not enough. And Cherries is supposed to be the hand trap that beats the meta decks, but right now it doesn't matter what Maliss card you try to ban. Even if you stop the big boss monster, so you use Cherries to banish face down the Heart Scripter, they have so much more end board potential, and they don't really care about that one piece of end board that you stopped. Now moving on to the next point, because we have to go fast here. We have a lot to cover. End board. You like a Mirror Jade? Well, now 2 non-target bunnies. They draw 5 cards, so their hand is stacked. I just want to complain really in this video about Maliss. I'm not trying to make an essay. I just want to complain that they have everything. They have an Omni-Negate against your board breaks. They have graveyard banishes. They have bounces. They have so many different kinds of very strong end board power. They even have an attack defense switch mini floodgate in their Heart Scriptor, right? No, it's not the Heart Scriptor. Where the fuck is it? No, it's not this either. Wait, is it this? Is it this? Yes, this is the one. While this card points to a monster, switch the attack and defense. That might fuck you up in cases. Board Breaker Resilience. This is the 10 out of 10. You cannot play a Go Second deck against Maliss. It doesn't lose to anything. It has Layered Interruption. Like I said, a stacked hand with hand traps. They will have Maxi. They will have Draw a Lockper. They will have Nibiru in hand. They will have us. They will have everything. They also have a back row. Non-target banish with a trap. This thing will non-target banish you. Easy. They will have the Impulse. Set in the back row. Such a strong hand trap. And they will have a full field of monsters with effects. Bounce, like we said, Omni-Negate, this guy, all the other Maliss things. So nope, you're not breaking that. Also, if you try to break it in any way, they have protection. These little shits, the Marcher protects from being targeted. The White Rabbit protects from battle damage. The Dormouse protects from distraction effects. So they can just protect it anyways. And they can summon them whenever they want with either Marcher or with a GWC setup. or with a bestial. They have battle protection from the Maliss in Underground, the field spell. You can only attack Maliss link monsters, so you could not attack Apollo USA. The boss monster cannot be negated. This thing you cannot droplet. You cannot droplet it. You cannot, I don't know what else. Negate it with impermanence. You can't negate it in any way. It says this effect's activation and effect cannot be negated if this points to a monster. So it can just, not care about it. It doesn't give a shit. And they also built a huge monster wall with their bestials and the March here. It gives them +2 bodies every time because they banish and then they summon. And finally, the available board breakers don't do anything. If a master duel wants to load, I was talking about cherries. So if you use cherries before to banish the cryptor, it doesn't matter. But if we go to the board breakers right now, all of these board breakers are pretty bad. I put the common ones and some other rare board breakers. Like we said, any effect negation doesn't do it. Probably the strongest board breaker is called By the Grave for Maliss. It sounds weird to say, but it is true because you banish it, it remains there, and it is negated. If you Lava Golem tribute their monsters, they don't care. They have a hand full of hand traps. They have a back row full of interruptions. They will reborn their monsters. They don't care. Similarly, you cannot really go to battle phase and remove an interruption. It won't work. They will stop you before that. Negating their monsters doesn't do it because the boss monster cannot be negated and the other monsters are very few interruptions. Destroying their monsters doesn't do it. They can reborn them and it's not the biggest problem. The monsters are not the biggest problem. So back row removal a little better, but there is no hand remover, right? I cannot remove their hand and it's going to have insane stuff in it. So this layered interruption alongside very strong protection makes it impossible for any board breaker to work. This doesn't work. I would say that the best board breaker against Maliss is probably evenly matched because it takes care of back row and monsters by banishing face down forever, but it's still not nearly enough to secure you the win. So board breakers are shit against Maliss. Great. What else? What else does Maliss have? Can it stop having things? No. It will have even more things. Follow up. It draws 3 to 6 cards. If they play the fire, this guy, the hit soul, they can draw up to 6 cards because they draw 2 with the Chessicat. They draw 1 with the white binder, that is 3 in a turn, and then you can make it 4 in with the access code. Sorry, with the hit soul, and in your turn they can draw again another 2 cards, with one with binder and another again with hit soul. So that can go up to 6 draw. Insane. Even if you manage to get through all of that, okay, and they are left with just 1 card, 1 gas, it is enough for them to go full combo, more draw, sin plus OTK, 1-3 kill. So they are pretty much unbeatable if they go full turn 1 combo. You cannot stop them. And they inherently get the March here, which is the follow-up in the hand. So now we are going to go second. At least, yeah, maybe the go first was strong, but maybe the go second is going to be weaker, right? Nope, not the case. It's batshit crazy even going second. The main reason is the hand trap power. Maliss enjoys 20 plus hand traps if they want to. And this is a good number to have in your deck as long as every starter in your hand is a 1-card starter. So if you have a lot of starters and extenders, you want 4 cards in your hand to be hand traps and 1 card to be obviously, the starter. So they can just play all the hand traps. And they can play very good hand traps. They can play Droll, they can play Dominus Impulse, and it's very strong to stop opponents. Like I said, Droll doesn't hurt them, and Dominus Impulse, yeah. So I will give a 9 out of 10 for the hand trap power. Interruption resilience. So can you play through interruptions that the opponent has set up? Yes, you can easily do so. Well, of course, you're going to lose most of the games going second, but you're going to win a lot more than other decks. And why is that? Because every starter is an extender, essentially. You can start and extend with a lot of darkness. You can start and extend with Ignister. You can start and extend with Dormouse, with a Wildbinder, with, not really with Maliss, depends on what else you have, with Underground, with Sarcophagus. This thing was at 3 beforehand. So there is a lot that just keeps the Maliss deck going. And you can also have some insane extenders. The power that backup Ignister gives is not okay. And if you also have this in the hand, or just this, also is a 2-for-1, let's say, extension. Strong Link monsters. You have your Link 1. We all know how much strong Link 1s are. But you also have other Link 1s. This can also pin down interruptions from your opponent. This is a great extender, this is a great extender. So you have to think about all of these potential follow-up from Maliss. So your interruptions might not be enough. And here is the only weak point of Maliss. I would say they don't have a lot of board breaking power. Maliss in the mirror is something that does inherently break the board by negating a monster effect and also kind of extending you. But it's not that great. And Bestials like specifically Drew Swarm can break boards a little bit. So this is the only weak point. And this is an insane thing that through all of that, why must they also have 1 turn kill potential? Their boss monster, Hard Scripter, just 1 turn kills alone, with of course the boost from Dormouse, the 600 attack boost, but it just punches once, activates the effect, banishes itself, punches again for lethal. You don't want that? No problem, we also have the access code potential. Not really a board breaker because you have to get to Link 4, but this guy, of course, we know how good access code is at OTKing. So they enjoy a very strong OTK power. Finally, we have some last here just notes, some other strengths. It has brick resilience. This deck doesn't really have bricks, bro. No garnets, no bricks. The traps might look like bricks, but you can actually use them for your advantage to just dodge targeted negation or to extend in your turn. Of course, you will need a Maliss monster, but that's not that rare to have a Maliss monster plus the trap. Yes, if you have the trap without any Maliss monsters, then it's a brick, and that's why I give it a little less. But besides that, nothing here that a lot of decks just require five bricks. You know, you need your trap that is a brick, or your ritual monster that is a brick. Dogmatica. Sorry. Yeah. This is the strongest part of the deck, maybe. I give it a 10 out of 10 because you can have full flexibility in what you want. You don't need 3 Dormouse. You want 3 Dormouse, but you don't need it. You don't need 3 March here. Some decks might require a specific number of copies so that you don't draw 1 copy or that you don't banish 1 copy. In this case, it would come back, but you know what I mean. In the case of Maliss, no problem. you can do whatever you want in flexibility. So it's a 10 out of 10. Banner's resilience, yeah, Dormouse got hit, Jessica got hit, Underground got hit. That's not all. In TCG, they have Splash Mage banned, they have Link Decoder banned. It doesn't matter yet. Why? Because still every card is a starter and extender, and also you can fill in the empty spots with so many other cards. You can play more Allure of Darkness. You can even play the the Cybers. You can play this, the Sign and Mining. You can play this, AI Meets You. You can keep adding different types of starters and or extensions. So it's not really hurted. Not here and not in the TCG. And finally, recursion, recycle. This is how a good deck can get back some used cards, and it's pretty good at doing that. Not great, but it has the Heart Scripter to recycle for banishment, shuffle one card from your banish to the deck. It has the GWC to reborn from graveyard or banishment, and it has the White Binder to recycle the traps from the graveyard. So this is the actual full power of Maliss, and it is insane. This that I showed you with the limits is not the full power. When it had Apollo USA plus unlimited everything, that was the full power. And we all know how bad it was. And I believe that this is in fact the strongest deck we have ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, you have to account for context, the meta context, but nevertheless, insane. This is a historical deck for sure. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and drop a like and subscribe and suck my dick, and bye.